Hello, hello. I'm Michaelson. In Excerpt 7 of Letter 3, which we will read in a minute, the Spirit speaks to us about faith and recollects what Jesus of Nazareth said about faith more or less 2020 years ago. Please enjoy the reading. Letter 3, Excerpt 7. What the Spirit tells us and what Jesus said about faith. Another day, I was sitting under a tree outside Bethesda, surrounded by people who had brought their sick to be healed. As always, they marveled at the return of life and health to these people and wondered how such miracles could be done. Again, I try to make them understand the power of faith. In the Gospels, it has been stated, I said, that if a man had faith the size of a mustard seed, he would be able to move mountains. This statement is a misinterpretation of what I truly said, and it reveals how little my disciples and evangelists understood my teachings when we were on earth. If a person were to have faith the size of a mustard seed, what does that mean? How can you measure faith in such a way? Faith is faith. It is a power of total conviction in the mind, possessing the mind and cannot be restricted in size. Faith arising out of your need to believe in something, because such a belief will serve your purposes in some way, can be powerful and strong, but it could never be estimated in size. Belief is even stronger. Belief is the offspring of hearsay and logic. Because you have heard something and been convinced that what you have heard or read is true, you develop a deep belief in what you have heard. You believe it to be true. You believe in a total, complete way which defies contradiction. I was constantly telling the people, believe you will receive, and you will receive. However, I knew at the time that it would be well near to impossible for the people to ever have the faith which would cause miracles to happen, since no matter how much I might explain truth to them, they would still never have the intense knowing given to me in the desert. But now, as I relate in small measure the story of my sojourn in earth in Palestine, it is with intention that you, my reader, will begin to perceive and understand the knowledge it was given during my enlightenment. My intention is to give you knowledge. Hearsay is when you are told something that you cannot really prove it is true. Knowledge is when you are told something or read something, and because what you have now heard or read complies logically and realistically with all related items of knowledge already in your mind, and you can understand and believe it in a realistic, logical way, the new information becomes knowledge. You know that what you now know is true. You have a sense of conviction. Up to this time, some of you have had faith in Jesus Christ, but you have been like precocious children. Your faith has been partially blind and accepting, yet interwoven with much doubt. Therefore, whatever you needed to be done for you, you depended on Jesus for the work to be accomplished. Whereas, in fact, much of what you believe you have derived directly from Jesus has been your own faith in Jesus made visible in the form of things asked for. While this childlike faith is very important to your well-being, those of you who are capable of moving onward on the spiritual path to perfection must now reach a deeper level of true knowledge of the relation between mind and matter. Without this foundation, people will continue to flounder in religious myths and will be locked into the misery of the human condition. When I was on earth, I spoke truth to the people, but it was continually misinterpreted. What I really said regarding faith was this: you see this great big tree. It has grown out of the tiniest seed imaginable. See the vast trunk and branches and foliage. All that enormous growth has come out of a small seed. How did such a thing come about? From whence came all the wood in the tree and the foliage which adorns it? Is not this as much a miracle as are the miracles I perform for you day after day? Is not the growth of this tree as much the work of the Father as the healing which takes place in sick people? I ask you, what is a seed? Can you tell me? No, you cannot, but I will tell you. A seed is a tiny entity of consciousness knowledge. It is the consciousness knowledge of what it will become. It is a fragment of consciousness drawn from divine creative consciousness. It is a fragment of mind power drawn from Father Mind power, which, when planted in the earth and watered by rain, will begin to clothe itself with the visible matter of which it possesses knowledge deep within itself. This knowledge is true, it is firm, it is strong and undeviating. This self-knowledge embodied in the seed is a conviction in consciousness. All of life forms arise out of this one pointed self-knowledge, a conviction in consciousness. This conviction in consciousness is what separates the inanimate soil and rock from all that lives and grows upon the face of the earth. Where there is no conviction of consciousness or knowledge of identity, there is no growth. The consciousness within soul and rock remains consciousness in a dormant form. Therefore, if you could believe in what you ask for, as powerfully as a mustard seed knows its own identity, you would be able to do anything you wanted to do. If you could carry within your mind a seed, the perfected plan of your most heartfelt goals, and know beyond all doubt that it can grow and come into perfect fruition, you would see this wonderful seed take on a life of its own, which would presently manifest in your life. And you could surely move the mountains in your lives, those mountains which stand across your path and prevent you from achieving all that you would like, mountains which, in times of recklessness and evil thinking, have been created by yourselves. If you only understood creation and existence, you would be able to live lives of total freedom, limitless achievement, and transcendent joy. Seek to understand, and you will find that little by little, understanding will come to you. Knock on the door of the universe, giving access to God, the universal Father consciousness, and eventually you will find the door swinging open and you will have entrance to the secrets of the world. Only believe and you will receive. I also reminded them at all times. Only those with pure minds and hearts will accomplish these mighty things. So, how did you like the reading? What a monumental text. Faith. Faith is the faith of the seed, the conscious knowledge of what it will become. Let's reread just a couple of lines. That knowledge is true. It is firm. It is strong and undeviating. This self-knowledge embodied in the seed is a conviction in consciousness. Therefore, if you could believe in what you ask for as powerfully as the mustard seed knows its own identity, you would be able to do anything you wanted to do. If you could carry within your mind a seed, the perfected plan of your most heartfelt goals, and know beyond all doubt that it can grow and come into perfect fruition, you would see this wonderful seed take a life of its own, which would presently manifest in your life. If you only understood creation and existence, you would be able to live lives of total freedom, limitless achievement, and transcendent joy. Thanks so much for being here today, divine brother, divine sister. Please subscribe to my channel by hitting the button below. Give me a like if you like this video. And thanks so much for sharing with friends. I love you all. I truly do.